Hello, everyone. This is Simmion coming to you from the outer reaches of the universe, bringing you energies to support your day and to take you further into the world of your Creator. As you listen, you can feel the vibration, both from the earth and from the outer reaches, coming into your field and vibrating together to bring harmony and harmonics into your world that have never been there before. As we proceed, the harmonics grow to harmonize with the new world that you are delivering through your body, through the world around you, and simply through your presence. The beginning of a new field starts every moment. That interaction comes into play. The field I talk about belongs to you, but it's enhanced by our presence and your presence, and now opens a new field for you to dwell in a land that you have modified to your specification, the land in which you live, the one that makes you feel perfect and that has no reason to be there. It's not as a result of anything you've done. It's a result of your presence and the interaction with us and the universe itself. Not leaving out Earth with its immense beauty and vastness in all its glory, reacting for you to display what has never been displayed before. In entering your field, we feel what you feel, and we feel new feelings that have never been felt before. These new feelings are not just excitement, but they are possibilities, probabilities, enhancements, things that have never been thought of. Joy, sorrow, all those things, all rolled up into one and presented to you on a platter called life. Now that your essence feels our essence, it is possible to do the impossible. The thought patterns that you've been used to are now changing, and they're drifting into the background based on nothing but new feelings and new interactions, not with other people, but with the worlds around you, with the worlds that you've forgotten about, and with the worlds that you present on a daily basis without revealing their source. As you smile, you present a new world. As you look up and look across the trees, suddenly another new world. As you look to us in the outer reaches, there's another new world. And each time it has immense possibilities that not even your imagination can gather, yet you can feel it, and you know exactly what those expectations might be, what those possibilities might be. And once we launch ourselves into revealing some of those possibilities or probabilities, we can step past the mind and go directly to the imagination and surpass it as well. You can consider the fact that you can fly, or you can actually just fly. You can consider bringing things to life, or you can just bring things to life. Either way is up to you. But what we do each day enhances the possibility to such an extent that it goes through the level of probability in a fraction of a second and actually exists in a reality that's not made up. It's a reality that you selected. And you can select a new reality every second. But most of us find that we brought a reality with us from a world that could exist where we are now, or in the outer reaches of the universe, in the world of your creator, in the angelic realm, or anywhere. But it exists. And it's in your presence whenever you decide it is to be in your presence. You can go on a tour from where you are to all the planets. You can look up in the sky and travel through the clouds. You can imagine being on an airplane, or you can actually be on an airplane without going through all the rigmarole of buying a ticket and lining up for hours to walk onto an actual airplane. You can be there by yourself or with others. This is not new. But what you do with it is new. How you see it as part of your real world is new. And your capability is new. Because you've decided to collect much of what we hold for you, and a little more. And you're finding that it's unending. What you can deliver to yourself, what you can collect, what you can take on is unending. And not even beyond belief, just unending and without definition. So if you decide that you want something to appear in the physical world right in front of you, you only have to see it once, then forget about it. Somehow, through some means or another, that will appear. And you can see it physically in your world. This is new. It's always been available, but it's new because now you can bring things to life on Earth in the physical plane, and it will be accepted and delivered into your world by all the forces known and unknown to man. And it may be delivered in the mail. It may just end up in your cupboard. Or it might walk in somebody's hands. Or you may even purchase it. But somehow or other, what you see will be delivered. It may even be 1,000 times better than what you saw. In most cases, it is. And in a package that you may not see as the same, because it changes over moments. Your picture changes, your order changes, your priority changes. If your priority could just stay still for a moment, which it can't, you would start to see things pop into your world almost instantaneously. But the big treasure is each person has the capability of generating something that can appear in the world and then generate something else and push that out of the priority because it's not something that you wanted physically around your neck so that you had to attend to it. But the reality that it's there, that you're capable of bringing it in if you want, is more valuable than collecting 1 million items because you can bring them into the world. But most certainly collect them in a way that we know we can, so that the universe looks after everything that's needed and not needed. Just like a plant. It grows and it decays, and it seeds and it regrows. And it needs the earth to do that. It needs sunlight, but it also needs your desire, even if it's only for a fraction of a second. That's what builds the life in the world. So specifics, as you know them now, are not necessary. You don't need to specify a colour, a place. You just think of a flower. Somewhere in the world, in the universe, that flower will appear. And it will be solid and alive. Or it may even be a seed. And it appears at a time when you need to give someone a flower. So the workings of the universe are intermingled with everything that goes with being human. You interact, the world responds, the universe responds, other people respond, animals, birds, and the general feeling around you responds to everything that is a result of your vibration and many other things, like millions of other inputs and outputs. The fact that something is sticking in your body when you sit down changes your whole focal plane, and it changes the world around you. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. But most times, it's leading you to another aspect that you haven't uncovered yet. One that you brought forward that you haven't revealed. Some little aspect of your life that you've never looked at. And you only need to look at for a fraction of a second, maybe. It builds. And it builds an energy field that has qualities that are not anything like your science or your desire. They have drive that make you feel exotic, that make you feel capable, that lift you above the level that you've been living at on the earth plane. So now we bring forward once again our assistance in maintaining the flow of energy and the variety such that a balance appears, even though it be for a fraction of a second, so that you are able to take another step and look at something else and feel a difference and achieve a balance for yourself that you don't have to maintain, because we'll be in there with another field, another influence, another interaction, a smile, a little bit of mischief, a variation in the breeze, and your world will come together and start to move and generate a power within you that you never knew existed. The power within you that changes worlds. The power within you that changes lives. That makes everything okay. That responds in an instant to anybody's needs and totally neglects your own needs, but gives you a picture every now and then that your needs have been fulfilled, simply because you are fulfilling the needs of the universe, the needs of the world, the excitement of a connection, and the brilliance of your own being. So once we deliver one movement, you respond with another. And the flowers and the trees respond with another. And suddenly, the world is a different place. And your life is part of it. not driven by the world, but the other way around. Your life drives the world to where it's supposed to be, to fulfill your image, your feeling, your desire that keeps changing at a rate that you cannot follow. And that's what keeps you alive, keeps the brilliance of humanity at the top of its field, and brings joy into every part of the universe. And the world itself continues to change in response to each individual, and brings to life impossibilities that are beyond the scientific realm that you know at the moment. So as we allow those things to change in your world because of you, the minerals of the earth take on a different form. The structures that you're used to take on a different form. Just like the expansion of our homes over the years take on different forms. Things are outdated. The faucet you used to use is totally different to the one you use now, even though it has many of the same principles. The same thing happens to the structure of the earth, to the basics of everything that we have, of everything that we feel. The structure of the rock, of the soil, of the trees is updated because of the life we put into it. The colour of the trees change slightly with our attention as we look towards the general structure of buildings, formulation of what's used on the roads, of what's used in the structural formulas for metals, for plastics, for hydrocarbon. They all change based on what we see. So don't be convinced by the so-called science that's delivered in the media, because there's much more to science than what is delivered even in the colleges. This will become obvious, and it will change your life because you have more to work with. You start to realize the structure of the world around you is flexible. It flexes on different time base. Some things take years to change. Other things take fractions of a second. But what's happening inside those things that change is what you affect just by feeling freedom, relaxation, total balance, interaction with one another, and interaction with the world itself. As you feel those things happening, you generate new things, new structures, a new feeling, a feeling of comfort within the structural members of even your house. You walk into a house that's filled with comfort and you can feel it. You know it. You sit in a chair and you go, oh, that's beautiful. But it may look the same as the chair you sit in. It feels terrible. So this structural change I talk about is one that has qualities that have not yet been considered. The warmth of a rock that stays there well after the sun is gone. The warmth of a person's feeling that stays there well after they've left the communication is actually a physical thing. And it's part of the structure that we feed every day. Part of the structure that you feed every day. And as you delve into the possibilities of how you can make something feel good, even though it's not even a human being, the more you delve into it, the more it will happen. And as a result, you will be developing the very source of the world of magic and miracles, developing into an industry where the slightest input from you changes the structure of what you feel and how long it's going to last, what its flexibility is, what its desire is for its presence wherever it's used. So now that we've been playing with a little bit of our joint interaction, I would like to turn up the wick a little, if you like. And bring to you more opportunities to realize that you can change the world in which you live. And I do that by changing the energy field and the delivery rate that exposes you to something new that you're familiar with and that you will make into something that's very, very valuable in the world. And you don't have to name it. You don't have to describe it. You just feel the flow. Send it where it's supposed to go. Follow it, don't follow it. Play with it, or just enjoy. And you will demonstrate to one another that something exists that has not been defined. And that something is always different for each person. Then you'll find there is another something, and another, and another. And you'll develop a structure of nothings that you know, beyond a doubt, is more solid and more powerful than anything that's ever been developed for use in the physical world. So now we're entering a new phase, one where we jointly work not to achieve anything, but to simply enjoy one another's reaction and action and movement, and watch as it develops into something more solid than concrete itself, and captures the world of living in its endless movement of magic, miracles, and mischief. To this end, we commend you all, and once again, turn up the wick of the flow. It comes from the nowhere, comes from the outer reaches of the universe, from all the realms, from the world of your Creator, and particularly from your origin. Thank you all for listening. I am Simmion.